Ready, everybody, to talk about all things Everybody's Raymond. Tom Caltabiano here. Let's see, where's that hair now? That's a unfortunate event that has happened. Welcome, Everybody Loves Raymond. Going live. Yes, that should be live now. All right, today is the big day. I'm assuming that a lot of you that aren't in the United States, it's just a day. It is just another day. But I did share with you some photos. I'm looking around. Let me grab this. I'm going to grab this iPad. Sorry, everybody. That's how you know it's live. There's no editing at all. Yes, is that making sure that's not too loud? Here we go. The Super Bowl. A lot of people are surprised that the Super Bowl introduction was actually a commercial first. Let me get to this. Let's do this. Doing this. Going on Instagram. Yes, what I'm looking at is Instagram. Hello, Annabelle. How are you? Hello, Ryan. Yes. Is winter over there, Ryan? I don't know. So I will do, for those of you that are not familiar, I am Tom Caltabiano, writer on Everybody's Raymond, and I have been doing a live every Sunday since the beginning of 2020-ish, spring of 2020. And so I am talking to you, bringing you all kinds of behind-the-scenes stories of Everybody Loves Raymond, which is hopefully a show that you enjoy. Hello from Pittsburgh. How are you? Pittsburgh, everybody, for those in the UK and Australia, a long tradition of sports success. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 70s dominated. So that's a baseball team and a football team, etc. Yes, for those of you new, Tom Caltabiano was a writer on the show from the beginning to the end, and I also informally took a bunch of pictures, 30,000 behind-the-scene photos, and we published a book that was written by Phil and Raymond, and Heather Havrilesky also wrote, very good writer, but Phil and Ray wrote personal captions underneath it. So I was not the official photographer, I was the unofficial photographer, but I took a lot of pictures. That's for people who are new to the channel and are asking questions. So, yes, the Super Bowl. Let's talk about that. Let's just talk about the global aspect of the Super Bowl, meaning how significant is it? Because it's just a little bit of men running around chasing after a silly ball, which is, I guess, what soccer is, and golf and baseball, etc. But Super Bowl is significant in TV because it is still the largest, most viewed event in the year. So if you're an advertiser, and that's where all the money is, folks, it's here. Let me try and get this under control. I see these come. Yes. Okay. I'm not gonna win that fight. Super Bowl ads, you hear these astronomical costs of a Super Bowl ad, and the reason is because it's the only time, especially now in our fragmented period of viewership across all thousands of different platforms, that you can reach one audience. So in the old days of Everybody Loves Raymond, which isn't that old compared to like MASH and All in the Family, and I don't know how it works in the UK or down under or in Germany, etc. But for the most part, from the 50s until around 2000, you really basically had three channels. Yes, you had other things, but you really, those were the powerhouses. So a show like Friends or Seinfeld could have 30 million viewers, 40 million viewers. Now a hit show has, I want to say 3 million, 4 million viewers. We've talked about this in the past, but the significance is the more money, the more eyeballs, the more money you can make, which is why Raymond earned a really, really good living doing what you would do in a local theater and make no money. It's only because of advertising. So the Super Bowl commercial with Everybody Loves Raymond, with Doris, with her missing tooth, etc., that was to promote the show. And that was, I believe, in season 5. People can correct me, but I'm 99.43% sure that it was in season 5. So what happens? You had in America the big three networks, and I don't know how they divvy it up, but one year the Super Bowl would be on this channel. The next time it would be on this channel. There was only ABC, CBS, and NBC. Fox came in later, etc. I don't know who's carrying the Super Bowl. I don't know if a network is carrying the Super Bowl. That's how fragmented it is, and I don't know if the Super Bowl can be carried on multiple platforms. So in the old days, the network would just say, we have the Super Bowl this year, which is like, great. Now we can promote our shows, promote everything. We will have the biggest event in television. And sometimes, in television, there's some finales, like I think the MASH finale might be the most watched TV. But for the most part, you can bet on the Super Bowl being, I'll tell you a secret here, the most watched show of the year. Okay, so that brings us to Everybody Loves Raymond promo for the Super Bowl. Now, I don't know when Phil got the call. Phil Rosenthal is the creator, showrunner of the show. But it was probably January. CBS said, hey, we have the Super Bowl this year. We would like to promote the show. Can you think of something funny? And for those of you that didn't know it was a Super Bowl commercial and it's just a funny game that's opening the episode, it's like you really want to show off that you're potentially exposing the show to a bunch of people who have never even heard of the show. So whatever you do, you want to take advantage and make that a very, very funny promo. The football theme seemed like a natural. Them playing touch football, for those of you that don't know, there's two terms. There's tackle football and touch football. Tackle, you play with pads, and touch, you just do it by touching the person. You're not tackling the person, although it can get rough. So just so for those, it's a disadvantage compared to soccer that we call it, which you guys call football. When I say you guys, you know who I'm talking about out there. Don't pretend you don't know. Soccer, you can play full steam anytime, anywhere, and you can really have a game. With football, you can't, because even the pros, who are incredibly in shape and covered with from head to toe with pads, get injured all the time. So you play what's known as touch football. So the touch football game seemed like a natural thing that people could relate to. And I'm just curious, for my friends in the UK, did you even, the game, you're vaguely familiar with the game, but it would still just make you laugh even if you didn't know any of the rules of the game, just that Frank and Marie, that they're going after, each other. Okay. So that's a long introduction. Let me take a little sip. Here we go. Those of you just joining, Tom Caltabiano here, writer on Eros Raymond, using for my cappuccino, my favorite quotes mug. Here we go. Very good. Very, very good. Let's see what the quote is. I don't like that, Raymond. Yes, a very Marie line. I tried nice once, didn't care for it. Yes, also one of my favorites. Okay, I could sit here and read all of the quotes, but I will not. You'll have to read it. Let's see now. Let's go back. Let's catch up on some comments. Hi, Tom. Go Chiefs. Interesting. Now, I don't want to get too inside football, but a lot of people are go Chiefs because they like the Chiefs. A lot of people hate Philadelphia because they are New York Giants fans or New York Jets fans, and so they don't want the Eagles to win. And just so you guys know, the Chiefs are from Kansas City, which is the middle of the country, and Philadelphia is on the East Coast. So a very different fan group. I will leave it at that, for fear of being attacked by Philadelphia fans. And you can figure out which fans are more civil. New to the live, sorry if this has been answered. Did you work on the show? A legitimate question. Yes, I worked on the show as a writer. I know I mentioned that before, but that is a legitimate question. Yes, the thing, okay, hello, Pittsburgh. Yes, that's where he was. Tom, who is your Super Bowl winner? Who would I? So Leo from Toronto. Leo, we are only getting up to 73 degrees Fahrenheit here. So I'm sure that you guys are a little bit. Tom, Teresa, you're so nice. Tom, this show is my Super Bowl. Okay, well, I'm going to. It's not going to live up. The budget is lower. Let's just leave it at that. Hello, Lee Gerber down below. Nice hairdo. Lee, I'm going to take that as an Australian jab meant in good nature. Yes, I'm wearing my Steelers sweatshirt today, Purple Aquarius. Purple Aquarius, have you tried? I'm going to see if I can get it on the show. The Prantles burnt almond cake. It's maybe the greatest cake I've ever tasted in my life, other than Marie's chocolate cake, which we are still trying to get to. Marie's chocolate cake. Okay, we want to talk. Let me go. Have the fires subside? Yes, the fires are all down. It's rained here a lot, and that's what happens. The fires come, and then they burn. Well, this time it was so tragic because of all the homes, but it burns the ground cover, and then the rains come. This is our rainy season. By the way, I think people in the UK would laugh at our rainy season because I'm looking at sunny skies right now. And, you're never like, boy, it's been raining here. It's like, wow, it's been raining for almost 8 hours. This is amazing. And then the sun comes out. But this is our rainy season. And so that's the danger. And that's what we had. We had a lot of rain and we have a lot more rain coming. But as far as I know, we did not have any landslides. Sorry, we're Raiders fans. So yeah. So Bunny Bear. So, okay. See, I don't want to get too much into football, but the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, at the time, they hate Kansas City and vice versa, because some people say, not me, I'm just reporting the facts, that the Raiders play dirty, and there was a point that the Raiders were unstoppable, and they cannot be forgiven for that success. Okay. Let me see. Hello. Yes. Is it true? Ray used to earn over $1 million per episode. I think you can look that up. But Raymond, at the end of the show, was earning a lot of money. It was a lot of money. And always, here's a tip, guys. If they're going to create a sitcom and you're going to star in it, put your name in the title. It worked for Raymond because you can't fire, and then we learned you can fire if your name is Roseanne. But for the most part, it makes you more valuable. And if you go back, if Raymond was being paid that much money, that means the network was charging a crazy amount of money and making, much more than that. So I know for us normal people, if you were making that much money per episode, you'd be very happy, and I'm sure Raymond was, but they kind of, it goes back to the baseball, football thing now, where if you're a baseball player and a lot of people are going to see Shohei Ohtani or Patrick Mahomes, and they're like, hey, we're making the company $200 million a year. Can I have $6 million of that? So, but I don't want to get into boring economics, because just like the checkbook episode, which Phil was pivotal in making that funny. It was an episode that I wrote, but every time he would read it, he would say, money is very boring. Like, you don't want to have a financial discussion on a sitcom, so we try to make it as funny as we possibly could. Purple Aquarius, you're in New Jersey. Your dad was from Pittsburgh area, so I grew up in the Pittsburgh sports scene. Yeah, which was a very powerful. Some of my closest friends, I grew up in New Jersey, and one of my closest friends is a huge Pittsburgh fan, and he is insufferable. Okay, let's go back. No, I left out, sorry. Hello, Susan. Hello, Karen. Hello, Kim. Kim lost her, what was it? Top status? You're now enemy of Eros Raymond or something? Something happened, Kim, in your Facebook status. So we don't know how you fell from grace, but I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sure that you will be back in good stead. All right, Tom Calderon here, and we're going to talk about that. Everybody loves Raymond. Hello, Gil. Commercial. Isn't this year the Taylor Swift Bowl? Yes, Ryan. Funny. Go Birds. Okay, Karen Kraft Giacalone. You're a fan. Aren't you from New York? You want them to win. Bob from Hawaii, aloha always. A source of trivia. The Super Bowl is named after the Whammo SuperBowl toy from the 1960s. Okay. Yes. Okay, great. Sorry, I'm scanning through these. Yes, it's on Fox tonight. Thank you, Carol. Hi, Trish. You're camping in Brunswick, Georgia. Okay, don't give the location or you'll be swamped. Hi, Tom. I'm having a Super Bowl party, but it will not start until after your LR360 is done. Oh, Dem's the rules. Oh, that's very sweet of you. Okay, well, I'll try and end it a little earlier. And the question is, do I ever see Raymond anymore? Yes, Karen. Monica Horan is from Philadelphia, so I don't know if she's much of a sports fan. However, the question, do I see Raymond anymore? Yes, all the time, and I believe I will be seeing him for the Super Bowl, and probably Phil, and probably Monica. I'll find out if she is a lot of, let's see. There'll be a lot of conversation today. Let me just go through that. Okay. Hi, Mark. Sorry, we're going to get to that. Oh, let me see. Can I show that? Yes. Hi, Tom. We saw lots of sports figures in the early seasons, but not so much later on. The cameos were fun. Was there any on that had requested to be on the show? Mark, you have very good English. Okay, let me touch on that because we did have a Super Bowl. Can anybody name the Super Bowl MVP that we had on our show? I'll be waiting right here, starting now. Okay, so the beginning of Everett's Raymond, it was on Friday nights and the ratings were terrible. So the president of the network said, hey, we're going to try and boost ratings. So we're going to have sports figures, since Raymond is a sports writer, go on the show in something called, I don't know if it's called stunt casting. It's a cameo appearance. But you're trying to get ratings by someone going, oh, Christy Yamaguchi, I love her. I don't know what this show Raymond is. It sounds terrible and boring, but I will watch it. And so the first season, they were, all of these sports stars were bounced off of Phil Rosenthal, who is not a sports fan. So let's go back there. Not that he's against sports, but he does not know sports. He was a theater major in college, and sometimes those guys are not huge sports fans, and count Phil as one of those. So, Phil, would you like Tommy Lasorda, Christy Yamaguchi, Barry Bonds, Flojo, who didn't air, that episode didn't air, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? All these are giant names. And in defense of CBS, they're like, look, if you want to fight us on this and go down in flames and have your show canceled after 10 episodes, we don't have to have the sports stars on. But what ended up happening is whatever combination of everything, but it was mostly moving from Friday night till Monday night in the end of season one, the ratings went up, and every little bit helped, because the president of CBS had to go, you're number 83 in the ratings. At some point, I have to answer to the money people. And they go, hey, we're sure that this Raymond guy is talented, and maybe it'll be a decent show someday, but right now, you're canceled. So that's what he was fighting against the whole time. So I hope that answered. Hi, Annabelle, watch this. I'm going to put your question up without even asking. Hi, Tom. Hi, all. I used to watch football, been to a couple NFL games, okay, but I usually choose according to how the uniforms look. This year, I expect a clash of the Chiefs' red, yellow, orange colors with the Eagles' green. Okay, Annabelle, I don't know if there's a better reason to watch or root for a team than how their uniforms look. And I guess, should we vote on the best-looking uniform, or if you love a team but hate their uniform? I think... the Chiefs have if you like red, the Chiefs have a really good thing. Let me see if I can, they can look it up. They can look up what it is. Okay, Annabelle, I'm with you. Denise, you also lost your top fan symbol. I'm a huge fan. Okay, Denise, do we have to look into this? Because Kim is really a shocker. I recognize your name, Denise. Kim has been extremely active. So what I don't want to know is, why she lost it. I want to know who's interacting even more than you or Kim. Very interesting. This could be, this could go right to the top, this investigation. Yes, hi, Karen. You're from Philly and you live in Philly okay, you're from New York. You lived in Philly for 9 years and your daughters. Yeah, enough with the Chiefs already. Wow. I'm going to hear a lot of screaming from that one. Okay, let me scroll through a couple questions. Then we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. Oh, Linda, let's see. Fly Lady, Linda, Terry Bradshaw. You know what? You are correct. Therefore, we had 2 Super Bowl MVPs in the show, season 1. What is the second Super Bowl MVP that appeared in the hit TV show Everybody Loves Raymond? Wow, we have a bit. I lost my anniversary fan title. Wow. Hi, Mona. Yes, Mona interacts a lot and didn't get a title. This is very interesting. This sounds like this could be bigger than Watergate. We have to go on. Hello, Henry. Henry says howdy. That's, for those of you, that's a colloquialism, or that's more of a Southern thing. Howdy. Henry Wang says, how did Raymond... Hi, Henry. I'm just announcing for other people who aren't necessarily watching but just listening. How did Raymond guest star on The Simpsons come about? I know Homer guest starred as Brian, the coach of the boys. Oh, yes. Sorry. So the voice of Homer, Dan Castellaneta, was in the T-Ball episode. My guess, so Phil Rosenthal also on The Simpsons. My guess is that the writers just said, hold on, I have to take another sip. Let's do a sip of tea. Let's see. So that's our logo. That's the logo for this, ELR 360 Live. And this, here we go, everybody. Yes, the world's most useful phrase of any TV show ever, I think. AIS. It's a very clarifying thing. What time will you be seated in the car? Okay, what am I drinking? Let's see. There we go. I always feel like that is a cartoon tea. Taifu. There you go. The noir. The black tea. Darker. So generally, Henry, the way things, you'd be surprised how things come about in Hollywood, and it's often the showrunner of a show or a writer goes, hey, I have an idea to use Raymond, or I have an idea to use Sex and the City people, or I don't know why I'm saying that. Oh, yeah, because there was a funny clip where they're showing a Sex and the City clip, and there's, I guess it was Marge and her friend are going, we're just like them, talking about the young girls who are living life. So generally, the way stuff happens is... it's very seldom like the formal, an agent goes, I would like Ray Romano to be on your show. Okay, it's usually, for example, the way Ray got on Parenthood is Raymond and Mike Royce and I went down to watch Friday Night Lights, and the showrunner of Friday Night Lights, for those of you that are new to this channel, a showrunner is the head of the show, the guy that does everything. It sounds like maybe the guy that gets your coffee, but the showrunner is the head writer and the executive producer, usually, who oversees everything creative. And so Jason Katims was the showrunner of a show called Friday Night Lights, shot in Austin, Texas. Ray and Mike Royce were doing Men of a Certain Age, and they wanted to observe how they did it because they shot very quickly. And when, for those of you I've bored you to death about multicam versus single cam goes very slowly. Okay. Then I can't remember if Ray saw Jason Katims a year later or something. He said, hey, if you ever need me on Parenthood or something like that, I will work for cheap. And then I think Ray's agent contacted him later and said, hey, any chance, and I know you would not say this to him, that you would work for cheap and be on Parenthood. And Ray, I think, said, yes, I kind of did. So that led to Ray being on Parenthood, played a photographer. A great role. So for The Simpsons, my guess is one of the writers like, hey, I have a funny part with Ray Romano in it. Or with Phil, Phil was friends with a bunch of Simpsons writers, and that's how that came apart. You're trying to think of stories. And for The Simpsons, is it 30 years? How long has The Simpsons been on the air? For a long time. Okay. Let me scroll. Wow, I've really been answering a lot of questions. Everybody, for those of you new to live, this is this is often what I do. And after 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, the questions keep coming even more and more. And I'll add this. When I started this, I had read 2 books by Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz about I Love Lucy, and I go, oh, I wish I could talk to everybody who worked on the show. So that was my goal. 130 people. I would love to talk to everybody that worked on Everybody Loves Raymond. Okay, let me go. Did you write Frank Steals the Ball? Frank stolen by Frank, then stolen by the family. Hilarious. That's the Kicker episode written by Aaron Shore. Yes. Wow. They went, so the Italy episode aired last night. Fascinating, because I just aired that. I should talk about that. And then, really, because I've been talking about the Super Bowl, we should get to that, because we don't want to get distracted, do we? Oh, boy. Here we go. The genuine canister, everybody. And inside there is a cookie. Well, by the way, we're just working on the graphics so we can start posting the results of our taste test of the cookies. Okay, so just for Italy, just to clear up, because I posted once the pictures a while ago, including, I posted yesterday this photo, everybody. This is stage 5 of Everybody Loves Raymond, stage 5, Warner Brothers Studio. And I posted about a year ago, I said, hey, this is the Italy episode, and someone said, I feel so ripped off. I can't believe that you were claiming you went to Italy. And I couldn't reach in to tell the commenter and say, oh, don't worry. We shot in Italy. The show was shot in Italy and on that soundstage. And so when you see Raymond complaining about how small the room is, and then all of a sudden they walk on the balcony, it's magnificent. When he's complaining about how small the room is, he is in Burbank, California. And when he walks out on the balcony, they are in Italy. Now you say, how do they get there so quickly? It's really just editing. And so they just cut to that next shot, and the people matched what, Deborah was wearing, what Patricia Heaton was wearing. So that is a challenge. The wardrobe department has to go, hey, we're going to shoot this July 20th in Italy. Can you guys make sure that Patty looks the same? And I can't wait to find this script one day. That'll be a good one to find. Italy Part 1 and 2, it's called, the scripts. So that's where, when I show the Polaroids of the actors in their wardrobe, that's really the essential thing. So just want to clear that up for people who are like, how is that possible? That's how it's possible. And it's much more economical to shoot scenes on our soundstage. That's why when they did the golf episode and people were like, why didn't they just go to a golf course? Why recreate a holes and da-da-da? It's logical from the outside. If you don't know how a show is made, that makes total sense. But for that to happen, to shoot on a golf course, you have to move the entire crew to the golf course, and they have trailers for the actors, and the cost goes through the roof. So believe it or not, it's less expensive to recreate something on a soundstage within reason. Okay, let's catch up. A couple more questions, and then I'm going to tell you about the Super Bowl commercial. Hi, Paul. So I can only bring some questions up onto the screen. Just FYI, I can't bring the Instagram question up. I'm also an Everett Raymond fan. Remember Terry Bradshaw made an episode appearance, and Raymond made a special appearance on Simpsons too. Yes, great. Tom, it's been a while since I caught you. Hello, Clara. If that is correct. Okay, Tom Caltabiano here looking. Nobody has guessed the other Super Bowl MVP who appeared on Everybody Loves Raymond. So far, I'm not seeing any of them. Let me see this. Love the Italy episode. Did the wardrobe department get to go to Italy as well? I think so. I think someone from wardrobe may have gone there. The props people, the hair and makeup people. So my guess would be yes, but I will have to ask them who they are, who actually went. Because while they were there, we, the writers, were still writing. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Thanks for all the great insights. Yes, Henry, you are welcome. Here's another question before then, Henry. I remember Ray being on The Middle, and he says to Deborah, yes, I was there at the filming. The Middle was another Patty Heaton show. In another universe, we would be very happy together. Was there ever an idea of a spin-off show for ELR, like Robert and Amy or prequel when it's Amy? Yes, Henry, excellent question. There was a show idea. Phil had it. That's why that's why Robert and Amy are not pregnant at the end of this. At the end of the finale of Raymond. So Ray would be Robert and Amy would be married and living probably with Fred Willard, near Hank and Pat, etc. And then maybe they could have a baby, etc. That show was pitched, and CBS said, no thanks. And so that was kind of that, because we all thought, here's some funny people. Brad Garrett, Monica, Fred Willard, Georgia Engel are home runs, and Peter, of course, as the nemesis. Let's see. Sorry, I'm scrolling through. Teresa, it was in the episode of All the Best Raymonds. He and his wife were in it. Can't think of his name. Okay, are you answering somebody else? Is that Teresa, or are you talking about the MVP of the Super Bowl? Let's see. Okay, now I'm going to talk a little bit, finally, about them. I think a couple of the people said Desmond Howard. Yes. Okay. So Annabelle, you're not taking credit. You're just saying, hey, Tom, you missed the other people who said Desmond Howard. Yeah. So yes, Desmond Howard was the MVP of the Super Bowl. He's not a household name like Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw, by the way, I was mentioning before, a Pittsburgh quarterback. And Pittsburgh, up until the dynasty of Tom Brady and now Patrick Mahomes, Terry Bradshaw stood alone in the pantheon of quarterbacks, I would say. So he is a household name. He's also an announcer. Thank you, Annabelle, for bringing up that I missed the comment. Okay, so the Super Bowl commercial. We one day the idea was hatched to do that, to have a game, and then they said, okay, where do we shoot it? So the Super Bowl commercial, and I think I've mentioned this before. If you looked out your window at a park near Warner Brothers Studios, you would see the entire cast of Raymond playing touch football. And you might think, well, that's interesting. I guess they're on break or something. Or because you live in Hollywood, you might think, okay, there's just another shoot happening near my house. I hope it doesn't mess up my commute to my supermarket. So we all went to this park. I took pictures of the filming, and I have somewhere APS photo envelope of that. I don't know where it is at the moment. But I've shown them in the past. And for those of you that don't know, for those of you in the photography, that's me scanning for a camera. When I'm shooting, I'm usually shooting a 35 millimeter camera. APS camera is this little teeny camera, and Raymond gave all of us on the show a Canon little film camera. And so I have a lot of those film shots in yellow envelopes with, I think I have a yellow envelope nearby, and they are not easy to scan. But I can look at the clips. Yeah. So this is, okay. Yeah. Here, Ray Thanksgiving ELR Pants on Fire. Okay. So I have somewhere, there's one 1998 that says Super Bowl. And so I found it once, but I haven't scanned it yet because the scanning, sorry, now we're getting to photos, but it's relevant for you guys of like, hey, Tom, can you share some of those photos? Here, this is what I'm struggling with. This is what you're hearing. This is how they came. This was a hot thing for a second, and it's in, for those of you old enough, there used to be 110 cartridges, I think. Here, all of the negatives are in that little Kodak Advantix thing. And I need a reader that'll unfurl those negatives as opposed to me being able to handle them and shoot them. So let me see. So that's the other photos I have of the Super Bowl that are in addition, and all my wide shots are on there, in addition to the great ones that I shared with, by the way, should we take a peek? Should we take a peek at this? Because this is always a mystery to me. Let's see, make sure there's nothing untoward in here. revealing Raymond. Oh, here you go. Wow, look at this right off the bat. Ray's real life brother, Ray's real life father. I guess we had Thanksgiving together that year. Is that correct? Yes. Here's inside the writer's room. Oh boy, these are really... Now there's inside the writer's room, and we're playing a game called No Roll, which became the show. Hello, James from Scotland. Okay, they are more... Okay, there we go, playing No Roll again. Tucker Cawley, who wrote Baggage, Lucky Suit, a ton of other funny episodes. Aaron Shore, Susan Van Allen, who wrote, I believe, Marie's Meatballs, etc. Pants on Fire. There you go. Raymond, looking very 1975-ish. Let's see. Okay. These are just boring photos of the inside of a house. Okay. Ray's mother. There's Ray's real life mother. I'll have to show these today to Ray's wife. Ray's mother in the orange, I'm going to say. Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much it from the episode. Yes. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, sorry. These are just, I'm not showing you anything. These are not Raymond related. Okay. The Super Bowl wide shots. Yes. That's what I was recounting. So, you look out your window in 1990, 2000, 99, 2000, and you see the whole cast of Raymond there. And one of the things that I remember, which was great, was they had a stunt guy who was preparing all the stunts. And Ray and Brad had a scene where Brad literally lifts and throws Ray into the air, and Ray lands on a pad. Now, Brad Garrett is not athletic, self-admittedly. That's not a dig. He is just not athletic. Because when I was... I had a small part in the Captain Nemo, and I kept throwing Brad the ball. So, Robert, it is. I throw a ball. And Ray and I played softball together, and I would call us fairly athletic. And Brad was like, Tom, you're killing me with those throws. And it wasn't like I was throwing heat, as we would say. I was just doing a normal pass. And then that's when I realized, oh, Brad does not play, even though he's tall, basketball or any other sport. So not that there's anything wrong with that. Okay, so let me just cycle through this, because this was on a reel. Okay. So that's Brad throwing Raymond into the air, landing on a pad. That is Ray Romano. There was no stunt Raymond. There's Phil directing. Okay. Looking very directorial, wearing a Hofstra shirt. Patty grabbing onto Brad. There you go. Now to see that scene in real life. Oh, that got truncated a little. Okay. There we go. That lineup. These are all on film. Let me just do it one more time. Yes. One of my favorite photos there. Here, let me see if I can start it again. Peter Boyle, yes, with the kids. Sorry. Because it's a reel, it's going by very quickly, and I don't think you can pause a reel. Okay. So we go there. We film it. They have time, but not a lot of time to film it. And then the weirdest thing, it starts raining. And I've mentioned this, I think, in the past. We're in Southern California. We're not in Scotland. We're not in Edinburgh, where it rains every 4 hours, it seems, or maybe snows, or everything you want. So all of a sudden it starts to rain, and we get rained out for the last portion of the day. Now, for those of you that have not been in films or making films, one of the things that you're always trying to do is economically, you're trying to get as many shots off as possible in a day. And that's why you hear this phrase, we're losing the light. We're losing the light means, hey, we only have a few more minutes to get off this final shot. And everything, believe it or not, as unromantic it is all about finances in movie making. There's always this constraint. When I was talking to the producer of The Big Sick, I helped out in the movie The Big Sick, which is great. He was saying that sometimes when the financial person writes the check, basically, they look at the scenes. What did you guys film today? We did this. Okay, you're not going to be able to finish some scenes. Cut them. Cut the scenes that you think you can live without. And as the artist who's written it, you're like, I can't, oh, this is terrible. And the producer, the person who writes the check, and it's not as linear as that. There's another producer, etc. But the people that wrote the check said, cut a scene. We don't care. We're not going over budget, so cut something. And so on that show, on that day of shooting the Super Bowl commercial, we were able, or they were able to pull it off, I'm going to say, and get all the footage they needed to make that. Now, it airs before the Super Bowl. I don't think it aired during the Super Bowl because that's where CBS says, okay, give us $4 million for 30 seconds. And they're probably happy to just have a lot of people that watch the show before the Super Bowl, and near the end of or after the Super Bowl, there's still a lot of people watching. So they probably ran that promo, and somebody must have an original film of that Super Bowl and can pull off the watching of the prior to and the post Super Bowl and see when that actually aired. And somebody at CBS who was in decision making could tell me, but I don't have them with me right now. So then that becomes a giant hit. And then I believe Phil, who liked to come up with opening credit sequences, was like, well, let's just do it for season 6. Let's use that credit. It's so good and it's so well shot and it's so out of left field that's how that became the opening credit. Now, of course, 99.9% of people know it as the opening credit. So when they hear, wait, that was for the Super Bowl? That was a one-of commercial that was supposed to go away? Yes, that is the actual backstory of that Super Bowl commercial. So let's catch up now. Wow. How does the time fly? We have so much fun together. Let me go. Okay. Up to Instagram. Hi, everybody on Instagram. Thank you. Tell all your friends to watch our. By the way, again, looking at some Everybody Loves Raymond sites, and the content that's posted there is astoundingly terrible. It's really, really, really good fans, it looks like, who really love the show, and then this abhorrent posts where I'm like, how are these people not blocked? So I'm hoping people migrate our way where I'm the only one who was there from the beginning to the end and sharing my stories on a weekly basis. And often we have Phil and Ray and anybody else who, Patty and Brad, etc., and all the writers. Hi, Paul. You were 6 years old in 1999. I think I was 7. So which team are you rooting for, Sonny Crockett, Miami Vice? That rings a bell in the Super Bowl. Were you and Ray? Yes, you are rooting for Philly. Oh, Sonny. Interesting. So I am actually more a New York Giants fan. The New York Giants. New York Giants have not been good in a while. But when I was a small child, let's say 11, 12, that's not really a small child, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there, I loved the color of the Kansas City Chiefs sweater that was for sale in the Sears and Roebuck catalog. And my mother got it for me, and I loved that red sweatshirt. It had a gold zipper, and it had the little Kansas City Chiefs logo on it. And I have no idea, as a kid who grew up in northern New Jersey, why I was drawn to that Kansas City Chiefs thing. But that's where I am. Hi, Ann Higgins, 1963. Hello from Scotland with the flag of Scotland. Oh, very interesting. Yes, I love Scotland. I was at the Fringe Festival for quite a while. Okay, Annabelle, let's see before we wrap. I watch the Puppy Bowl now instead of the football game. Interesting. I don't know the Puppy Bowl. Okay. Wish somebody recorded a wedding. What if someone recorded a wedding over that Super Bowl with the ELR ad? Oh, Henry. That's funny. Yes, that would be great. That would be, yes. So, and for those of you that don't know, the 10th anniversary episode where Ray and Deborah renew their vows, that was an episode based on Aaron Shore, who actually did record over his wedding with an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. Yes, your dream is to meet Ray Romano. Interesting. Not that, Hi, Bob. FYI, Brad did a 7-Up commercial in the early 1980s as a basketball player. Wow, I did not know that. Awesome. I will mention that to Brad. I wonder if it's available to find, because I know Jason Alexander did a lot of commercials, a famous singing McDonald's commercial, I believe it was. Um, Hi, Susan. My big fork and spoon are lost in Indianapolis. They were right past to the Hoosier State. I'm livid. They went right what they went right past it to the Hoosier State. I'm livid. What, Susan? I need translation on that English sentence. Does that mean it was speeding toward you? Ordered a fork and spoon? Let me see. Do I have a fork and spoon here? Yeah, here I go, right here. Are you talking about, or did you move and you actually had a big fork and spoon based on? I know we've talked about your last name. But if you're married to it, here's the fork and spoon magnet, everybody. It's available to order on our ELR360shop.com. It's a custom made, very heavy duty, officially the same wallpaper as on the episode on Frank and Marie's wall. The utensils are wood. You can eat with them, but I don't recommend eating with them because you will probably die of starvation by the time you get all the food into your system. Susan, is that what you're talking about? You ordered them, or they ended up, let's see. I live in Illinois, and my order ended up in Indianapolis. And did you get it, Susan? Wow, this is now like customer service. This is Tom Caltabiano here with customer service, the customer service hour. Did you get them, Susan? Because we like every customer to be satisfied. I have the fork and spoon on your refrigerator. Kathy, that's good to hear. Do any chance you live in Indianapolis and you were delivered Susan's by accident? That's the question that Susan is thinking. Puppies looking for homes, playing with a ball on a mini football field. Adorable. Oh, Annabelle. Okay, that's really good. All right, we should try a snack now. Yes, Karen. Did Aaron have to renew his wedding vows? He did not. He did not. And they actually tracked down the tape, which would have been anticlimactic for this. Oh, here's another. What does this one say? Okay, yeah, here's another. By the way, people, those fires were so scary because if I had lost all of these, this would have been super, super sad. Super, super sad. Raymond, oh, wow, look at that. First thing. Raymond on SNL, and there is a young Will Ferrell with a young Tom Caltabiano. There you go. That's a gem. That's funny. SNL, Raymond hosted twice, and it was a grand old time. Okay. I don't want to get too far. But you see all these treasured memories. I wouldn't even remember that hats. There's Raymond walking down the hall. There's Phil Rosenthal. I can't tell who's in it because it's kind of blurry, but that's somewhere walking. I always took a lot of photos of everything, and you're welcome for doing it. Oh, this actually proves this can segue perfectly. There I am. Looks like I'm wearing a New York. I'm eating a cookie. So that will lead us to, let's see what we have today. Sorry, folks. Oh, look at the time. Okay, yeah, definitely. Here we go. Everybody, this is the actual canister. On Ever's Raymond, we tasted cookies in the writer's room to get out of writing. Okay, what should I try? Wow, that's going to be hard. Okay, here we go. We're back in the UK. Vanilla creams. McVitie's vanilla creams. Okay. Yes, I'm very excited. So I have a soft spot for all the British biscuits, as they call them. We call them cookies. And so I'm trying to, what we do, okay, let me get rid of that comment. Let's bring up another comment, Annabelle. Yes. Awesome. Hi, Ryan. You met Buddy the Elf. Sorry. There's nothing worse than not repeating the question when somebody's just listening. Yes. So Will Ferrell was on the show then. I'm looking for something to open these cookies with that's not covered with grease. That was Will Ferrell's last year. And so Will Ferrell, Ray comes in, and when you're an outside host, you can submit sketches. And so at the time, just so you know, the Life is Beautiful film had come out, and Ray did a sketch based on that. But Will Ferrell was there, so Will was just one of the guys on the show who was brilliantly funny. So, okay, so I'm going to move this one. This one is a little crummy because I beat it up a little bit. Here we go on the opening process. Okay, everybody, McVitie's vanilla cream. Now, it seems like an unfair thing, because if you're tasting like a double chocolate something, sorry, I'm going to get an F for cookie camera work, as they say in the business. There we go. For those of you from America, these are known as biscuits. They're traditionally not as sweet as American cookies. I don't know, because I don't know where Australia is, because Australia has their Tim Tams, which are a bomb of sugar and some of the greatest things I've ever eaten. Okay, it gets so much crumbs over here. Okay, so let me just describe. It looks like a wafer with vanilla. I'm not reading the package. Wafer with some vanilla in between. So, okay. I really like it. It's a subdued vanilla flavor. Again, it's a British biscuit, so it's not too sweet. If you were to taste an Oreo, which I will, don't worry, I'll get around to it. How? Let me see this. Hold on. I'm going to slide over here. I don't want to confuse it, but this Tim Tam, it should be illegal. It's so good. All right. But it's apples and oranges. You know what? I'm going to taste another one of these before I say goodbye, everybody. Here we go. What did they invent? A plate. The plate. I should have had a plate. That's what I'll do from now on, because I have crumbs all over me. I'm going to give this like a 7.2 for the delicious vanilla creams. This feels like a step above. I know, by the way, here's what I don't have. Historic knowledge of British biscuits. Zero. I have like 2 years knowledge, and it's limited at best, and only what I eat. So I don't know if people are saying, Tom, but the original vanilla cream, the most popular one, is X. And you're eating a McVitie's knockoff, just like, hey, they came out with this, and now that's a knockoff, etc. But that was delicious. So I haven't had one that I didn't like, but that's good. That's very tasty. But you can't have a Tim Tam. You know, you can't have a Tim Tam side. You've got to know what you're looking for. So I'm factoring that into my head when I run these very sophisticated calculations. Your series could be like Phil's, but exclusively snacks around the world. Yes, Karen, that's kind of what I'm doing. That's kind of what we're backing into. The Tom Taste Test, and we rate it canisters. And we're going to put that number. It's just a matter of finishing all of our graphics because we're doing so many things. Okay, final questions before we say goodbye, everybody. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Yes, everyone. Thank you. Fly Lady, I don't want you to delay your party. I want to hear how your party was. Hi, Gary. What Girl Scout cookies do you like? Maybe we will taste Girl Scout cookies next week. What do you say? And have any of you in the UK or down under heard of Girl Scout cookies? But we did have the cookies episode. Oh, that's good. Maybe we'll see if Amy Aquino, wow, Aquini. I'm sure she's been called worse than that. We'll do it. Okay. Let's see. Bob Silva. Let's see. Yes, Hodaway, go to see next week, a brand new show. Yes, very good. Good luck, everybody. Be careful out there. Oh, thank you, Abby. The guy who's the heir to the McVitie's, is that what you say, McVitie's? Biscuits is in a British reality show, or was. Jamie Lang. Oh, very good to know. So much. Hi, Karen. Yes. Oh, what did we do? Yes, Oreos and Hydrox. Yes, absolutely. That's how this started. Okay, everybody, I will... Janet, you have some Oreos in the bread box. You must have some tonight. I do have the original bread box. Oh, that's interesting. We should break that out. All right. See you guys next week. Thank you so much. Keep your questions coming. Post them all the time. Share, stuff. Point people in our direction for the true Raymond fans. I will see you, and we will all know the answer next week when we come back of whether Kansas City continue their dynasty or the stinky Philadelphia Eagles have won. I am neutral, of course. Okay, see you next week.